Top of the morning to you. This is Monday with Friday, preparing you for a better year ahead. I was going to lament the facts that in her 250th anniversary of independence, America is in the throes of lawlessness and is foisting upon other sovereign nations the same colonialism from which she wrested herself in 1776. And America is doing so while eyeing other sovereign nations like Canada, Greenland, Panama, even the Gaza Strip in Palestine, and of course Venezuela. My biggest lament, however, would have been that America in this 250th anniversary year is being led by an executive who is a convicted criminal, unheard of. A majority in Congress that is a duplicitous, dishonorable, and disreputable heap of pathetic weaklings and infidels, lacking fidelity to the Constitution and to the people who placed them there, and a Supreme Court that is most certainly supremely impeachable and untrustworthy, and whose majority therein have burned the bridges, burned with supreme impunity and brazenness, any respect for themselves or from the nation, the people, to them, in their partisan disregard for the law, interpretation of the law, and judgments on the law. I was going to lament all of this, but then it struck me that perhaps America in this 250th year needed the starkness and ugliness of these kinds of leaders in her three branches of government to demonstrate to America what she has become. Unlike the government from which Nicolás Maduro has now been removed forcibly and just as unconstitutionally as he claimed that government, mind you, the American government was elected by the people, even if only about 1/3 of the people, and that is the people's fault anyway, not the government's. One of America's current executive's best buddies is also as unconstitutionally in government as was Maduro. And yet, the man in the Kremlin receives all kinds of support from the crook in the government in America who has unconstitutionally removed Maduro, extrajudicially killed people around Maduro's country, pretentiously for drug running, while pardoning and releasing a real convicted drug runner of massive levels of crime. Now, America's leaders emerge from American society. No matter how repulsed my next statement might make any American, this crop of bad leaders from executive to Congress to Supreme Court and the several institutions through which these people emerged and came to us with those institutions' support, ranging from the Federalist Society to CPAC to your friendly or unfriendly neighborhood evangelical church, this crop of bad, incompetent, rigid, intemperate, callous, corrupt, insular, toxic, and even evil leaders are a definite, distinct, unmistakable, and most accurate reflection of America as a single cohesive entity, despite the fact that many Americans are unlike this brood of vipers, as John the Baptist might have labeled them. In a word, as repulsive as this might be, again, perhaps this is what America as a unit deserved in her 250th year of independence. Analytically, this is so, but personally and emotionally, we deserve better. Many Americans see themselves in these bad leaders. Many Americans chose those people deliberately because they saw themselves in these leaders. They claim that this supreme leader and the satraps of this leader speak for them, say exactly what they have on their mind, remind them of themselves. This is almost half of America. As most immigrants, I am more wounded than the average American, the average born American, because I became American by choice. When one chooses what one is likely to be much more invested in what they have chosen than others who may have been born or privileged into it. I am embarrassed and really hurt that this is what has become of America, as much as that comment may draw me ridicule from the people of my birth country and region. So be it. So what next? I am a person of faith. Faith, the first cousin of faithfulness. thrives on authenticity, honesty, fidelity, transparency, and most of all, truth. Truth. Now, as humans, we may lapse from any of these at any point, but in the name of faith and faithfulness, when that happens, relationships that are important require confession and forgiveness, even if one is not particularly religious. I have counseled many couples between whom infidelity or disappointments or breach of faith have occurred, in which those breaches or infidelity did not become terminal, perhaps because the couples did not allow it to become terminal, but was superseded by true sorrow, confession, and forgiveness, and truly a happily ever after ending. But those are personal relationships. I would be naive to expect this among people in national relationships. The dynamics may be different, but the components remain the same. Somebody needs to confess and somebody needs to forgive, and in that order. Either the bad leaders or the people who place them there need to confess to America and to the world that they have harmed America and the world by extension. If they did this, the rest of us would likely be moved to forgiveness, even if after a final blowout of anger. For all of this has truly angered, provoked, offended, and injured us badly, and continue to do this. But there is one more option. King George did not just go away or confess his sin against America. No, he was defeated by America and sent away. Now, I do not know what defeating this crop of infidels would look like. If it became necessary, especially as they are busy finding every which way to restrict many voters, reduce or remove voters' ease of ability to vote, and perhaps even retire the electoral process altogether or parts thereof. That's not far-fetched. The American president, whom Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson rightly predicted as a crime boss, he who has sought to clamp down on protests at home and probably still has desires to shoot American protesters, has had the gall to warn Iran, whose people are now protesting evil government, that he, the American president, will deal harshly with Iran should they harm protesters. I would say that the gentleman doth protest too loudly, but alas, among other things, he is simply no gentleman. We know this. His justice is coming as night follows day for him and all of his satraps, cronies, and foot soldiers in crime. Now, if that doesn't happen, America is not likely to survive to her 260th anniversary. She might exist, but only as an institutional vegetable. Please share this video with someone. I am Michael Friday, and your week just got better. I'll see you again soon. Happy New Year, and if you can make it so, and happy Monday all the way to Friday.